What is up, y'all? Welcome to the 29th episode of the Time Report podcast. My name is Jackson Weber. I appreciate y'all tuning in today. My voice sounds better. I feel good today. We got pneumonia, so now we're back and going to go. The Tennessee Titans are back home again this weekend and facing the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to give the game recap. We're going to talk about that as well. Xavier Restrepo, is it time to see him play? That's going to be the biggest question on Sunday. That's going to lead in who's out. So thank you guys for checking out the show. Also, shout out to y'all on YouTube. 50 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of y'all. This channel's growing. Appreciate that. So let's get right in with Xavier Restrepo. Now, Titans fans, you've been wondering about this since the day he's got to Nashville. Titans receiver Xavier Restrepo, is it time for him to make his debut on Sunday? And it very well could be. Somebody's going to come up. It's either going to be him or it's going to be another guy from the practice squad. It's either going to be Lance McCutcheon or Hal Presley, Christian Wilkinson, or it's going to be Xavier Restrepo. It should be Xavier Restrepo. He's next in line. So we'll see if the Titans do elevate him on Sunday. But I think it's time for Xavier Restrepo. We got some clips on the next one before we get anything else about Xavier Restrepo. I put some clips. Shout out to the Miami Hurricanes. They posted this on X and on Instagram the past couple of days. Put some clips about Xavier Restrepo. I put a clip with X talking about if he's ready, how he feels, how he's doing in the Titans practices, what's he doing to get ready, right? He said he's doing the kicking. He's starting to feel good, right? I think the biggest thing was to look at is see if the Tennessee Titans were going to use him at kick returner. And Seymour DK is down Sunday, right? We don't know if he's going to be in or out yet. He practiced. He looks like he's full. He's ready to go. But in case of that backup, Xavier Restrepo will be the extra kick returner just in case if Seymour was not ready 100% to field kickoffs and still punt. So this is Xavier Restrepo also talking to the media, and this is him in Miami doing some clips from college.
Ward, quick strike, and into the end zone goes Xavier Restrepo. How about that drive by the Canes?
Jonathan Vilma, DJ Williams, Ed Reed, Jeremy Shockey, Vince Wilfork.
Another fade route. This one for Restrepo.
And another Miami lead. And stuff like that. Here goes Restrepo. Welcome to the record books.
No doubt. I feel like I've definitely gotten faster. My new PR is 21.5 miles per hour. Never ran that fast in my life, so I feel like I'm feeling great physically right now. And I feel like I've gotten so much better spiritually as well, knowing that, I have to wait my turn and, it's God's timing is better.
The speed part of it, what do you attribute that to? Is that from work you've done out here with the training staff or just a lot of work on the side as well?
No doubt. I definitely put some work in over the summer. I've put some work in with, Coach Shaw and, Coach Zach and his staff. They've helped me tremendously. And, I'm healthy. I'm feeling healthy and I feel like I'm super strong and flexible, and I just feel great right now.
You've always talked about the faith. How much has it helped you as you try to be patient, waiting for a chance?
It's the only thing that's been carrying me, if I'm being honest. Again, mental health is a real thing, and, when you have faith and when you go to God every single day, every single night, and, talk to him and just let him, take your life over, you're just so much better, as a person, and I just really encourage everyone to do that.
What have teammates kind of told you in here about hanging in there and your time will come?
Yeah, no doubt. I've had, a bunch of my teammates just keep telling me, just keep going, your time's coming, because they know, they know what I'm capable of, so they just tell me keep going, again, stay closer with God, and just keep my mind on the goal, come in this building every single day, same person, and ready to work.
And if this is the week, what will Sunday be like for you?
Again, I have no telling of that. Only the Lord knows, but I'm just gonna bring energy, bring playmaking skills, and just give my everything for us to get a W on Saturday or Sunday.
All right, so we just heard from Titans receiver Xavier Restrepo talking about how he's getting ready for the game, how he's feeling. Seems good. Xavier Restrepo, if you guys saw in the last clip, his routes look better, looks way better for Miami. That's the biggest thing he's been working on, right, is to see how his footwork is working, how he's looking, and we'll talk about that as well. And the reason why a lot of fans were asking why did Xavier Restrepo not make the active roster, why is he on the practice squad, and why is he so low? Well, first of all, he's an undrafted free agent, right? Obviously he came out of college. He had a 4.84, not very fast, right? So, obviously, he had to build up his speed. X did say to Jim, and also he said on Twitter, he ran 22 miles an hour. So, X is building that speed. That's the biggest thing we've been seeing. So, I think Xavier Restrepo is looking great on the speed side. He's looking better as a receiver. He's also practicing with 2s and number 1s. The biggest thing why I think he will be is because he doesn't have a scout jersey on. If you guys don't know, in practice, you have scout jerseys on. Other players do. X does not. So the Titans could be very well seeing Xavier Restrepo Sunday. X also talking about on Twitch. He goes live on Instagram, goes live on Twitter, goes live everywhere if you want to check him out. He talks about Fortnite. I asked him, I said, hey, how are you ready for Sunday? He's like, I'm ready to play. And he says, if I'm not going to be playing, I'm going to be rioting. So Xavier Restrepo should get activated Sunday against the Titans, against the Seattle Seahawks defense. And the Titans need some juice on offense. Who's in, who's out for your Titans on Sunday? We have 3 players. Again, since Titans are starting to get healthy. Number 1, Xavier Woods, safety Xavier Woods, who is out for the 2nd game in a row. It'll be Kevin Winston. So Kevin Winston, who is started off really slow. He started to pick up some things. He looks great. And he looked good last week. I watched him on tape. He was elusive everywhere, making the quarterback question a little bit. Davis Mills. So Kevin Winston, he's starting safety on Sunday. Alec Iomaner. This is why we say Xavier Restrepo should be starting on Sunday, because Alec Iomaner is out. And the Titans currently, this is the currently receivers right now. And the Titans don't have very many. Seymour DK is banged up. So like I mentioned, Seymour DK, number 1, is already hurt. Van Jefferson, Mason Kinsey, James Prochet. It's time. It's time, folks. Xavier Restrepo. It's time. So he's going to be the 5th receiver, most likely to be on the Titans roster. Bryce Oliver's on IR. Disappointing. We'll see if he's going to come back this season. It's kind of been a big bummer. You need one more receiver. Titans fans, is it time? Xavier Restrepo. So who's going to come on down? It'll be him or Restrepo. Kendall Brooks, DB, has a concussion. He's in concussion protocol. That is who is out. Also, this weekend, we do want to give a shout out, because this week is a special week for the Tennessee Titans organization. It is My Cause, My Cleats week. So a lot of Titans players and Titans players do different cleats. I'm going to read y'all some of these cleats. Xavier Woods has a very special one for his daughter, raising awareness to best buddies in honor of his daughter. So that's honestly a really good one as well. So the Titans have a lot of good cleats this week. I know some autism ones from Brandon Allen. Jalen Armour Davis has mental illness week. So this is a good week just to show off your cleats, and shout out to these players who are putting these on these cleats and showing love to the special honors that they're going to give. And that's very special. I just don't really want to say that. Seattle. Oh, boy. And a lot of fans are going to be looking at me, because obviously, if you don't know, I know Seattle very, very well. And for two reasons. Because of my boy, Sam Darnold. And I'm a huge Trojans fan, and all y'all know that. A lot of y'all know I love my Trojans. I saw Woody Marks last week. I saw Keaton Bullock last week versus Houston. Now I can see Sam Darnold and Leonard Williams, who used to play on USC, are back with the Seattle Seahawks, and then we will both be playing on Sunday. So I'm a little bit bummed. I'm very excited for both of those. I've never seen Sam Darnold play. So I'm very interested to see how he does play. He kind of struggled Sunday. And I'm going to read y'all Sam Darnold's stats. He did not have anything too flashy. Sam Darnold, who threw 4 picks against the Rams. Sam Darnold was 29 for 44, 279, 65.9 completion percentage. His average was 6.4. He threw 4 picks, though. His rating was 45.5. Easily Sam Darnold's worst this season. Running the ball, Seattle, Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet on the ground. Look, Kenneth Walker is hot right now from Seattle. And he looks good right now. I think this is the biggest thing is the Titans can stop him on run defense. And we stopped Woody Marks last week. Is it going to be the biggest question to stop Seattle? So here's the couple key takeaways. Number one, let's read y'all Seattle's offense, see how Seattle has really done also. Let's read you about Mike McCoy, because Mike McCoy, the new Seattle's head coach for the 2nd straight year in a row. Let's read about him as well. Let's talk about Seattle's offense. Seattle's offense so far this year has 365 yards per game. That's number 6 in the NFL. They have 6.5 yards per play. That's 3rd in the league. That's a big play. The Titans cannot stop these big plays, right? The Titans have been really struggling, especially on 1st down, 2nd down. They need to limit that this week. And rushing yards per game, 116. And then, obviously, the interception rate and the sacks. They have 32 sacks, one of the highest in the league with sacks. So, Seattle's run defense is amazing, and I expect them to get to Cam Ward on Sunday. That's going to be a big problem. And I'm talking about guys like Ernest Jones. We're also going to be facing as well. which is going to be a big problem. Marcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams. It's going to be another problem. Also, I didn't even shout out another Trojan, and I apologize for that because I'm a huge Trojan fan, and I'm going to say this name wrong. I'm going to be so embarrassed on the show if I'm going to say this name wrong. If I do say this name wrong, I apologize. Ukeda Osuwu, USC linebacker, is also going to be on the Seattle's defense on Sunday. So, Trojans, we're going to have to take a lot of former Trojans on Sunday. And the reason some of y'all are asking, why is Seattle's offense so good? Well, coaching staff is actually freaking good. Clint Kubiak, son of Gary Kubiak, a longtime coach for Denver and teams like that, won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. I think that could be the very next Titans head coach on Sunday. This is going to be a guy, Clint Kubiak, who's really turned this offense around. He's joined Mike McCoy's staff. This is his first year as an offensive coordinator. Clint Kubiak, I think, can turn things around instantly. And I think this is going to be a big game to see if the Titans can actually see the future head coach. He's really changed the offense. As number 9 in the NFL, right? And number 6, in the NFL right now. 14 rush and 14 pass. And that helps when you have a quarterback like Sam Darnold on their team. So that's something to keep in mind of. But Clint Kubiak, new former future Titans head coach. We'll see. The Tennessee Titans, though, on their side of the ball, who apparently a lot of y'all are wondering where the Titans offense at. 32 in the league, 32 rush, and 30 passing. Yeah, it doesn't help when you also have a banged-up receiver room either. So that's going to be a big problem on Sunday. I'm going to give you all my 3 takeaways in just a moment. But Seattle's defense obviously is really good with the pressure, and they're going to they got to Matthew Stafford last week. The thing is about Matthew Stafford is he gets the ball off a lot quicker than Cam. He's going to have to get the ball off a lot quicker. Cam Moore did talk to the media earlier this week. He was basically talking about how he can step up against Seattle, right? Because that's going to be the biggest thing. Cam Ward's like, hey, every day I'm going to have to change it, right? I'm going to have to change what I'm looking for. I'm going to change momentum. I'm going to have to change the offense. He changes this. He says, I think they're really talented, right? He gives a shout out to Seattle's defense. 20-plus pressures in 2025. Ukena Nwosu has 5.5 sacks. Leonard Williams also is right behind him as well. Seattle has the 4th highest pressure rate in the NFL, 39.9%. per the NFL Next Gen stats. Okay. So they have good players, right? Cam Ward has a 56.4% pressure when being pressured in 2025. He has been sacked 41 times. It's the most in the NFL. Oh, boy. So Cam Ward thinks he thinks he's getting better every week, but it just matters is how you're going to do on the field. How do you feel every single week on the show? But we're going to have something fun, I think, on Sunday. I think a lot of you guys are in for a treat. We have somebody who's going to join the show Sunday. I think a lot of you guys don't know him, but you guys are going to know him on Sunday. You guys are going to meet him. You guys are going to understand. We have a first-time fan going to the game on Sunday. I'm going to have him right next to me. I'm going to have him interview. He's going to ask a lot of questions. How do you feel about the Titans? How do you feel about the Seahawks? I'm giving him homework, okay? So you guys are going to have a special guest Sunday. We have a special guest on the show. So he's finally going to come on the show. I know he's very excited about that. So we do have something to play for you guys before we get into the 3 things the Titans can do. This is Titans defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons talking about the Titans and what they can do for them.
We've been, we move on from things that we talked about last week, and frustrations highs, and we losing, and but I think, like I said after the game, that for me it's never attack. I want to challenge my teammates as much. I know they want to play better and play good. I think that's my biggest thing when we talk about leading. Sometimes guys not going to like what you say at times. I think that's part of being a leader. Part of leading your house, and people not going to like everything you say. But when you realize and you sit back, and I've been there before. I'm still there. I have a mentor. I have a leader that I look up to, my uncle. I don't like half of the stuff he say to me. When it come down to playing the thing, but when you sit back and reflect on things in that nature, especially about the game of football, you be like, okay, I get where he was coming from. Yeah, it was kind of harsh, and that's the game, And also on the other side of it, knowing how to reach those guys, and that's one of the things I talked about coming into the offseason. From the offseason, is certain guys, you kind of gotta put your arm around just a little bit, but it's also tell them it's a grown man business. We all grown men, and we all have a job to do, and I think that's kind of my message that Seahawks not gonna care. They not gonna care. We 1-9. They're gonna come in here and try to disrespect us on our turf. So we better be ready to play and that's every week in the NFL.
Did you guys?
All right, so you guys heard from defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons is tired and angry with the locker room, and I don't blame him. We've talked about this many, many times with Jeff, and we know that this year he's been doing a great job speaking out as a leader. I think Jeffrey Simmons has done a fantastic job just in that locker room, maturing a lot more than he has in the past. So Jeff Simmons, a heck of a job with that. Titans came out with injury updates, and so did Seattle, which we'll be talking about for the end of the show. And then we'll get to the 3 things I think the Titans can do to maybe improve on and maybe take advantage of Seattle. So we'll talk about that just right now. So anyway, so the Titans' final injury report just came out just a little bit ago. Obviously, we know Alec Ironmaner. Kendall Brooks is out with the concussion. Darrell Baker Jr. with the knee and illness is questionable for Sunday. He did not practice today. We'll see if he goes on Sunday. Corey Levin, the backup, is limited with the neck. He's questionable. Khalil Mullings is full. He is on IR. He could be back. We'll see if he does get activated tomorrow on Saturday. And then we got Xavier Woods, we know is out. So we got 3 questionable, and then we got 3 out. So that's obviously what we got for the Titans. For Seattle's side of the ball, though, we got 2 out. We got some information, some interest, because I know a lot of fans are questionable. Kenneth Walker just came on the injury report, and that's something to monitor right now. So we'll get to a fun fact in a moment. So Kenneth Walker is questionable for this game. Is a glute injury, which is apparently new. In fact, this is the first time all season Seattle has put Walker's name on the injury report. So we know that also wide receiver Torrey Horton and Tyrese Knight concussion are out. Mike McDonald did say this now. He says Ken Walker should be good. Ernest Jones is still working through a knee injury. He said that Robbie Oates' his elbow is fine. So Seattle's got some injuries. But Ernest Jones expected to be good. And then same with Kenneth Walker. He's supposed to also be good as well. For those are some of Seattle's injuries heading into Sunday. 3 ways Tennessee can actually take advantage of Seattle, and somehow we can maybe get an upset. Hopefully, we'll see about that. I think number 1, penalties. Just we cannot, and we had 6 in the first half. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. And I think just all around, just be smart. Know the snap counts. Be present as a whole. And I'm not talking about just offensive line. I'm talking about everywhere on offense, defense. Be smart. The Jeffrey Simmons penalty last week was absolutely BS, and I'm not going to lie with that. Interfering with the center, I think that's what the call was, I'm not 100% sure, but still just that call makes no sense. So I think right now, as you're a Titans fan, I think that's the one thing we need to fix is just penalties. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, consistency on both sides of the ball. We saw a really good job with the defense last week, like I mentioned. It's carrying into this week. Seattle's offense is going to be tough. I mentioned it before. Sam Darnold is hungry, and he will be obviously upset, coming off of last week's loss. Just be consistent against Seattle. If you mess up a play, get him the next one, right? So I think that's number 2. Just take care of him, be consistent everywhere on everywhere on the ball. 3, take care of JSN. I know this is tough. Jackson Smith-Njigba is one of the most best receivers in the NFL this season. He converted from a slot guy to one of the best outside wide receivers in football right now. And he's easily best over Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson this season. He's obviously Seattle's biggest target, and he has over 1,000 yards. So that's going to be tough to contain Jackson. And Seattle's got a couple of good tight ends. I think just trying to limit the weapons also is a big thing as well. Try to take care of them. I know you're not going to be able to stop everyone, but, limit those big plays I think is a big thing. Number 3, and 3B technically, Cam Ward. Cam Ward needs to be, obviously last week was one of his better games. I thought personally, I kind of reviewed it and I looked at it. I think what he had to work with this week, he's going to work with an offense that's totally different. And Seymour DK is banged up. Obviously, we know that Mason Kinsey, Van Jefferson, James Prochet, you need one more guy right there. So maybe it's Restrepo, maybe it's not Restrepo, but I think that's the thing to look on and see is how can Cam Ward be consistent with new guys every single week? It's going to be tough for him, yes, but he's got to use his weapons. And I think that's one big kicking away on Sunday. We got a fun guest. I already kind of previewed it on my Instagram and TikTok, so if you guys want to check that out, my buddy Eddie's actually going to come on the show. So Pacific Coast Ref and 203 is coming on the show on Sunday. So we have a guest who will be talking about his first time in a Titans game. I'm going to ask him questions and be like, hey, how do you feel about the Titans? Are you excited? Because I'm going to be a fan this weekend, okay? I'm obviously going to analyze and do all my work, but I'm a fan this week. I'm going to enjoy the game. Hopefully you guys do as well. It's going to be decent weather in Nashville this week and high 60s, low 70s. So it'll be a nice game this weekend if you guys are going out to Nissan Stadium. Shout out to you guys for going on your Sunday, witnessing a very hard football team right now. So credit to you for that. All right. That is it from the Titan Report podcast. I'll see you guys on Sunday after the show. See y'all then. Titan up!